like these being the end of the month. I like that.
Yeah.
You know. Oh my God. Hey, listen, I got a guy who want to look at this. He might want to buy him. I told him, I said, well, you got to prove to us that you have the money to take care of it. And if we give it to you, you got to have so much done within such a length of time. You know, but I didn't hook him up on this one. I got to talk to him a little bit more. I don't understand that he don't have the money to do it. And we wasting time.
Yeah, it's on those two, but it's not.
I think Tom Forksman has somewhat done this in the past, so he might be able to.
Nobody from IT is here.
Okay. Well, we'll give you 15 minutes and, you know,
Somebody from where is he?
taxi.
Oh,
And I'm your secretary for the day.
Oh, really? You got your thing ready? So, hey, we're going to be talking fast and quick.
no, we haven't both the back.
Oh, the IT people, they got technical problem, I guess, with the mics or something, or with the, we can see this, something ain't right. We say you got a technical problem.
Shut itself off after a certain time, I think.
What did you do? Mess it up.
I didn't put it back together right. It's all a mess.
We got an IT
Yeah, it kind of scared me. We got a lot of it here. I'm saying, well, how we gonna be here for a minute?
Yes.
But we only got 3, you know, so.
There we go.
If the IT people get here, we're good to go. You know, that's yours too, right?
Yes.
Because here's mine here.
streaming. Yep, there you go. Okay.
All right, we're ready.
Ready?
We're ready.
Appeals Board meeting call to order. Call the board members. Call the board members.
Yes, I'll call a roll. Mr. Gary Gunnelsberger,
Here?
Mr. Walt Matthews,
Here.
Ms. Sharon Johnson,
Here.
Ms. Allison Will,
Here.
Ms. Dana Gamblin,
Here.
Ms. Janice Warner.
Excused.
All right. Anybody wishing to give testimony, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth? If so, signify by saying, I do.
I do.
Okay. Old business.
You do approve the minutes.
Roll call.
The minutes.
The minutes, yeah.
Oh, they left that all out here. Okay, we're gonna bring the, we have the minutes of the last meeting. What's your pleasure?
Motion.
Second?
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay. Now on to old business.
Under old business, we have case number 22-02. Lee Ethel Keys is appealing the demolition of 1329 Huntington Avenue, parcel 57-05260.000. She is not here again.
Not here. She's not here, so,
Can I make a motion to go ahead and get it done?
okay. Motion on the table.
The motion is for
You made a,
denying the appeal?
My motion is just to go ahead and demo.
Is the person not here?
She's
No.
not here.
Was it second?
no, it hasn't
No.
been second yet.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second, signify by saying aye.
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 You're upholding the demo?
They're upholding the demo.
So
Yes.
do a roll call
Yep, you can do roll call.
first.
Walt first.
Walt, Sharon was second. Walt Matthews,
Yes.
Sharon Johnson,
Yes.
Gary Gunnelsberger,
Yes?
Dana Gamblin,
Abstain.
Allison will.
Yes.
That motion passes.
And then we're just gonna make this brief, so we're gonna discuss the start of the meeting time. So is 4 o'clock good for everyone, or do you want any changes?
Dana, can you bring the microphone up to you and speak up a little bit?
If it's on.
Are you on?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We're just gonna make this brief. We're gonna discuss the meeting start time. So is 4 o'clock good for everyone? Or is there any changes that anyone wants to suggest?
I think 4 o'clock is a good start time. I can be here as the vice chairperson. I can be here in lieu of, if you're not here, I can start the meeting, and when you arrive, you can take the meeting over.
That's fine. So
Sounds
do we need to
good.
make a motion for the 4 o'clock time? Do we need to make a motion? Keep it at 4 o'clock? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we leave it at 4 o'clock.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. New business.
Excuse me, I have one question on old business.
Under new business, first case is 22-03. Shamika Owens Moore is appealing condemnation of 102 Tyler Street, parcel 57-0970.000.
All right. My name's Ken Nixon. I work with City Code. I'm going to be talking about 102 Tyler Street and how I got involved in this.
Sir, are you an inspector?
Yes, I'm inspector with the city.
All-around inspector, or plumbing, electrical, or
No,
what?
just housing.
Okay,
Compliance.
Compliance.
okay, gotcha.
So this is 102 Tyler. It's the parcel from auditor's office. Okay. This started on April 4th. Sierra Moultrie had signed a contract to rent out the lower apartment of 102 Tyler Street. Okay, that's just her contract that she signed. She had given me a copy of it. Then on April 11th, 2022, Thelma Sauer, who was Sierra's mother, came into the office and wanted to report some electrical and plumbing issues at 102 Tyler, lower unit and basement. She stated her daughter, Sierra, was going to move in to 102 Tyler, lower unit. They started to move in, and her husband noticed some electrical, plumbing, and issues, electrical and plumbing issues in the basement. They showed me the following photos. They took little photos on their phone for me. The first one there on the left is the plumbing that leads to the toilet. It was leaking. When you flush it, it would leak water. The next one is the hot water tank. They weren't too sure if those were legal pipes beyond there. The next two are some electrical things that they have going on, the blue piping on the left, and then on the right picture, it's kind of blurry, but that's all they had. Some of it was a video. I had them still photo it or just stop it so I could take a picture of it with my phone or my camera. But the electrical issues were this is the main one. The electrical box is up at the top, and the blue conduit has electrical wire, and that runs. At that time, it was drooped across the stairs that lead into the basement, and then connected to like another rafter, and then into the lower unit. On the right-hand picture, you can see the electrical wiring. It is exposed. It's basically just with electrical tape connected. And then on the left-hand side of the screen there is I want to say like a baseboard heater that is across the door This door isn't really used. It's like a second entrance to the apartment, but they have that across the door. So after I talked to Thelma and reviewing the photos, it was decided that we needed to inspect the lower unit and the basement to determine how bad the electrical issues were. So Thelma said the landlord was going to refund the money to Sierra because she was not going to move in. Sierra was going to meet with Shamika Owens, the property owner, on April 12th. So on April 12th, I called Miss Owens at 8:25 a.m. When I called, she was at 102 Tyler and was talking with Sierra about the possible code violations and possibly refund Sierra her money. I asked Shamika if she would allow code compliance to inspect the basement, and would she be willing to sign a consent to inspect form. She wanted to wait till next Monday, April 18th, because it was Holy Week. I told her I could not wait, and we needed to inspect the lower unit and basement today. Shamika says she does not work during Holy Week. However, she was at 102 Tyler to speak with Sierra, who was a possible tenant, and to possibly refund her deposit. Shamika then said she would come to the office after she was done to Sierra to sign the consent form. Shamika did come to the office and told myself and Steve Recker that she did not want to sign the form. Shamika was told I would obtain a search warrant for the lower unit and basement. She was told I would arrive at approximately 13:30, which is 1:30 in the afternoon. I obtained the search warrant, had it signed by Municipal Court Judge O'Brien. Myself, Chief Building Inspector Scott Time, Electrical Inspector Greg Cappuccini, Plumbing Inspector Paul Matthews, and SPD Officer Ronte Hill Morton responded to 102 Tyler to serve the warrant and inspect the lower unit and basement. Shamika and Jamar Owens were at the residence. I took the following photos of the basement. Now this is where the electrical, I don't know if he wants to explain what is in the box. I'm not.
Hear from the electrical inspector at this point, or do you?
Yes. If we
They'd like to hear from the,
may.
From me?
from the
The
electrical.
individual inspector.
I mean, he knows more than.
Like Ken presented to you.
Excuse me, could you just identify I saw you
I'm
raise your hand.
sorry, my name is Greg Cappuccini, electrical inspector with the city of Sandusky.
Okay,
Like Ken presented to you, I was asked to go along on this inspection to overlook the electrical items in the house. I did make up a list. I do not know if you have that list in front of you or not in any of this.
Yeah, there's a list.
That's in there. His letter is in there.
I wrote up a
Yes, it's in
letter.
there. It's towards the back of the.
There were various items, like in that picture, proper connectors aren't used. The left-hand side picture, the conduit coming in from the meter base outside is supposed to be a complete set of conduit. It was not. There's various issues. The panel is a major, what was going on in there
I got more pictures.
and stuff. I did my review, I wrote it up, gave it to Mr. Nixon, and it went on from there. There's in the basement, the blue tubing, which is a conduit, it doesn't have proper strapping or connectors. The water heater itself was, with the wattage of the water heater, the wire going to the water heater was not rated for that wire. It was undersized. There were splices just, when Ken was first there were splices there, just midair. An attempt was made to cover them. They're not really correct, proper way to cover them per the National Electrical Code.
And then
The panel
That's
had
right there on the left hand.
yeah, just splices like that, they just try to cover it with a box. There's better ways to do it. There's correct ways to do it, I should say. That is an incorrect way. The panel needed to be refed from the meter base on the inside. Right, you can see the one connector going to the hot water, the blue tube going to the hot water tank. It does not have the proper connectors. Some of these violations are minimal, but the panel was the biggest one. Now, when I did my inspection, the main circuit breaker was turned off.
So therefore, I could not inspect any voltages. I could not inspect any outlets to see if they were right polarity or not, or grounded. The main circuit breaker was in the off position, and I cannot turn it on.
But was there any electricity in the home?
To the top of the panel, yes.
Okay.
It was live, but not from that thing, so. But it wasn't livable until you turn it on, because it does, but once you turn it on, it could present a danger. Don't know till that happens.
So if I may,
Yes,
you said it wasn't incorrectly, I think that's the word you used, some wiring wasn't correct.
you were referring to the water heater?
I think it was what you just said prior to talking about that.
The
You said
wire going to the
wiring was
water
not
heater is
correct.
not the
Was it-
correct.
Did it violate any policy?
All these are violations of the
Okay, I
National
just wanna make
Electrical
sure.
Code.
You said correct, I mean, is it okay? But if it's a violation, to me, that's.
All of these that I wrote up are violations of the National Electrical Code.
All right.
These are not Greg Cappuccini violations, these are the National Electrical Code
Okay. I just
violations.
heard you say correct. I'm like, okay, what's the definition of correct?
Incorrect, that probably is what I said, yeah, no. Are there any more questions?
Any more questions?
No, he's good.
Sir, do you know who did the work in this?
I do not know,
Okay.
and I'm not going to presume.
Okay.
And at the end of my letter that I wrote, all I wrote was violations need to be corrected by a licensed electrical contractor. That is in our ordinances. Stuff by
Okay,
license.
so the landlord needed a permit to do this work?
Well, yes, the contractor will pull out a permit when it happens. Yeah, to my knowledge, I don't know what's been corrected or what hasn't been corrected.
Even though it's your own property, you still have to have the permit for electrical and plumbing?
Yeah.
Yes, because anything with an electrical service needs to be inspected.
And they didn't ask to have this inspected then, correct?
The reason we were being there because a tenant had electrical concerns and they backed out. So then I was brought in to do the electrical inspections. Lisa, and I
Okay,
was
but
there.
you're saying the landlord did not call you to inspect his work if he did the work or whoever did the work? No one was
That
called?
is correct.
Okay,
I've never been called to that during that time.
okay.
Any more questions?
Do I understand the permit process correctly? When a permit is taken out, it's the owner who is responsible for calling to set up an inspection? Is that correct?
No, that it varies. The contractor doing the work could call me to do it, and that's what usually happens. Hey, we're on site right now. Do you have time to come look at this? Or the landlord does at a later. I believe there was another incident. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was in the MacArthur Park. You called me to have a service turned on. I failed it. I believe you had Great Lakes Electric come in there and fix some of the wiring. I came back, and I don't remember whether it was you or Great Lakes that called me back, and the wiring was correct, and we got your service turned back. Am I correct in that? That's been quite a while, but that's how the process usually works.
Are there exceptions to that rule when no one calls and no follow-up inspection occurs?
That does happen, but to get that condemnation sign off, the inspections are going to have to be done.
Okay, thank
You
you.
know, I mean, it's just, that's what happens.
Good.
And just like if I go to the building and the power is not on, I do the inspection. If it isn't correct, they go back, they make their corrections, they call me back, and when the corrections have been done proper, I call it into Edison to get the power turned on. That is the proper procedure.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't know if there's any other photos,
Thank you.
some plumbing. The right is the toilet issue, and I had Paul Matthews, the plumber, he also wrote a report up on it.
Did you want to hear from Mr. Matthews,
Yes.
the plumbing inspector?
Please.
How do we go back one? Backspace?
Just hit the back key.
Gotcha.
Hello, Paul Matthews, City Plumbing Inspector, City of Sandusky. Now on the right, they went up and flushed the toilet, and I just visually watched the waterfall. And I believe it was wrapped in some pipe, or not pipe tape, but white tape with some maybe plaster around it. I don't know. It was not a repair that is code. So I can't write up a violation for a leaky toilet, it just has to be fixed. You know, that would be something maybe code compliance would do, but it wouldn't even require a permit to fix that. As far as I know, that you're allowed to repair your own plumbing as long as you don't alter the plumbing. And the hot water tank didn't have a cold shut-off valve, which was required. And the furnace that was down there was just abandoned, so that's not even an issue. And Greg handled the electrical on the hot water. That's the only thing I looked at. I
Okay.
go upstairs and check out the sinks and the bathrooms and stuff. I just know that the toilet was leaking when they flushed it. That's about it.
Okay.
Now, do you check the specific pipes? I know you said that you can't really write someone up if the toilet is leaking, but do you check to see, like, is that the right size pipe?
It was just broke, and somebody tried to tape it and glue it, and tape it and glue it, and whatever, I mean,
Okay,
I don't know the analysis of the material that they used, but
okay.
So have you inspected all of the plumbing, and these are the only two issues here?
yeah, there's not really much in a basement, you know, maybe 10, 15 feet of pipe, you know, where just the sink and the lav and the toilet comes down, you know, or the upstairs would drain into it, but the walls are closed up, you can't see it, so. It just needs repaired, you know, it's not a real big issue, it just needs to be done, but. But I'm not like the electrical inspector where there's violations in the electric safety book, you know, but they just called me out on a search warrant, and I was out there for Ken Nixon.
Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Jump along here then. And that was baseboard. This is just basically the reports that Greg kept, go ahead.
Go back to the previous picture. Okay, what's going on here with this heating
That
thing
is
over
the
the door?
heating, the baseboard heat. Was there issue with the wiring on the baseboard heat, I think you wrote?
The baseboard heaters are wired. The wires need to be in a conduit system, and they go through, there's no bushings or anything protecting the wires from abrasion on the heaters.
Okay, but isn't there an issue with that going across the door like that?
Electrically, no. Not if the door's not being used. Electrically, no. The heater,
Where does that,
Door is shut off on the other side.
Yeah, the
Okay.
one that-
you'll get your turn, sir, in just a
He
second.
won't get a turn because he's not going to speak. Go ahead.
Okay. Where does this door go to? Do you know, is it a back door or what?
I
Okay.
know. There's two doors. When you go on the front porch, you can go to the left is the main entrance to the lower unit. If you go straight ahead, there's another door, and that's this door. It leads to like a bedroom. So it's like blocked off. It just looks strange, but it's not being used. There's one way in the front and one way out the back. And then if you go to the right, upstairs is the upstairs apartment. So there's three doors in that first landing.
Okay.
An abandoned doorway.
Yeah, just an abandoned doorway, just nobody uses it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so these are just the letters that the inspectors Capsini and Matthews had written. And then we have the correction order that was written by Chief Building Inspector Scott Tom for the condemnation. And then I have a duplicate there of Cappuccini's that he attached to his report. And these were all sent to Ms. Owens via certificate and certified mail. I also wrote up the condemnation letter on my end and also forwarded it to her with the proper mailing certificate and certified. And that's,
And as of right now, you have not been back to the property? Okay. Do you have anything else for us?
no, it's just, I have pictures of the signs I placed on the doors.
And you said this is all downstairs, so there's no one living upstairs?
There is somebody upstairs. That's a whole another issue that we're not here to discuss right now, so
Okay.
everything's fine for the upstairs.
Okay, gotcha.
So you just, excuse me, you're just condemning, you want to condemn just the first floor?
Yes, the lower
first
unit is condemned, yes.
Okay,
The upper unit has its own electrical box, and everything's fine up there,
okay.
because we inspected it the next day.
Yes.
Like me up there?
Yes.
Because the second floor, Greg Cappuccini, Sandusky Electrical. Because the second floor was mentioned, I just want to reiterate, and because the panel, there was no outgoing electric after the main breaker in the panel, at that time, it does not present any issues with the second floor apartment. Because there is, even though there's some faulty wiring on the first floor, it is not heated up at that time of inspection. So therefore, the people in the second floor at this time are safe.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make that point clear. An electrical contractor did call me about doing an inspection because evidently somebody's been in there doing the work and they got a permit. And they called me and I said, I would like you to get permission from the homeowners before I go there and do the inspection. And that's where we're at now. I have not had a chance to go do the inspection. I have not given a date yet and stuff. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully we can get an inspection and all this will disappear.
You got a question?
Yeah, I have two questions. The first question is that the panel that goes to the second floor, did you say it was inspected as well while you're there, or?
We came back at a later date.
Okay,
Came back at a later date.
and it was fine?
It's fine.
Okay. And my second question is just because I think since my time on the board, I haven't been, I'm not aware of when something is condemned, what that process would be to get it. It's just having the work fixed,
And the
another
first floor,
inspection, and then it can be deemed fit,
on the
livable.
first floor, if an electrical contractor was called in, given this list, and they go over this list and do these items, call for the inspection, and it all passes, the signs would come down to my knowledge, correct?
Gotcha.
So your property can be condemned for multiple reasons, so sanitary, structural, or if we have serious violations.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Wait, then she filed her appeal. And that's where we're at today.
That's almost. Okay.
Any questions? Any more questions for Ken?
Any more questions? Okay. All right, we will have who is here for you can come up, state your name for the record.
Shamika Owens, 1126 Sycamore Line, Sandusky, Ohio. God, thank you for today. God, thank you for every day. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for the situation that you put me in to reveal things that you want to be revealed. May your word and your glory forever shine. And I ask all my ancestors to come in and help me out with this one. I praise you and I love you forever. Amen. Okay. Well, first, let's just start with this paper since it's up here at the front. Discrimination. It's as simple as that. Some of the words that the electrician used, some of the panel even picked up on those words. Illegally, Ken entered 102 Tyler Street. Why was it illegal? Because the tenant no longer lived there. The tenant signed off her rights at like 8 o'clock that morning. He came in, as he said, at like 1:25. Now, yes, it was Holy Week. And yes, I did say that I was not going to work. But the concerns that this young girl had, I went to the house in order to address them. At that time, my God allowed Ken to call while we're standing there. And I told him, you can come and inspect, but could you come before 1:30? Because I'm celebrating Holy Week. And his reply was, no, we're coming now, and if you say no, we're getting a search warrant. Okay? So I ain't really been saved that long, but at the same time, I said, okay, I'll play this game with you. So after all that goes on, and I put our plans on hold, which I brought in to Mr. Rucker and showed him I don't have to lie when I say I'm going out of town and I'm doing something for my God. That's what it is. We rescheduled, and I met them there at 1:30. I then asked if everybody would, just stand before we all the way entered and started the inspection and do prayer. Everybody else, except for this demon, turned around, fanned his hand like, forget your God, and proceeded to walk through my property like he owned it. At that time, I immediately got upset. I ran, I cut him off, and I told him, you will never disrespect my God again like that, or you can get out. After all that happened, we prayed. Things went smooth. Now, where my concern at and why I'm saying discrimination is this. I got this house through a land contract, through a company in North Carolina, South Carolina. The same inspector that just spoke to you about all of these inspections violations, we got reports where he came and passed it like not even 2-3 years ago. That same heater that's against the door, which was there because the kid kept putting a finger. And so as a mother, what do? You move it up. It's common sense. So it's not that it's strange or tacky, or so it was a reason.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the question. And no disrespect, I'm gonna call it just like it is. You bought the property, but did you check the property out before you bought it? Because if you're saying that he came 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
It's all the same stuff. Because see, when I bought it, it was a land contract. So I was in the middle of all the transactions. I was in the middle of everything.
But did you ever go through it though?
I didn't have to. He did it. I got reports where city's finest did it. I don't have to. If the city's finest say that it's good, it's good. So I have reports that shows where he passed all this. Okay?
But see,
now, I'm not finished. Everybody else got to speak without interrupting. Could I please have that same courtesy?
Okay, but, and this is no disrespect, I'm just saying though, I'm trying to get to where you're feeling that, the property itself, I mean, you're saying that 2 or 3 years ago, he passed it, but we're in a different year now, so to speak, so I guess that's the question at hand is that, did you physically do any inspection of the property before you bought the property, land bank or whatever?
It's a land contract, and my answer to that is, again, He already inspected it. Nothing changed. It's not like we went and added a new hot water tank or we went and added a new heater. It's all the same. So there's no reason to get another inspection because of that. But since we're on that, I received a telephone call, which I already knew was coming, from Fresh Electric. Now, everybody in Sandusky said that it's a little group, the good old boy club, whatever. But I need to see proof instead of people's words. Well, I got that proof. I received an email out the blue from the secretary at Fresh Electric telling me that the city inspector wanted to come in and look at the work. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, well, how did they know to contact you? Out of all these these contractors, how did the city of Sandusky know that I went to Fresh Electric? How did they know to call you? Why didn't they call me? Now, you guys just asked what the process was, right? And the answer was, well, we get in touch with the home inspector. Hey, remember when I did that for you on Forest Street and all that? Okay, how come that wasn't followed now? Because illegal stuff is going on. Now, we'll probably cross that bridge when it comes because I definitely know how it went down. Okay? Second, exactly next door to me, you can pass these around. I made copies, Sharon, so that you can show your husband. I saw Sharon at Lee's Famous Recipe, and she said to me, I see you're ruffling the city's feathers again. I said, no, the city ruffling my feathers again. You know, and you know, for somebody to say that when I'm showing you discrimination, it makes me look at you funny, but I did pray. Now, what I'm sending you over is directly next door to me, not even 6 feet. The whole back structure is falling in. Do we get any write-ups on that? Is that condemned? How come?
Well,
What's the difference?
Okay, I'm gonna stop that.
What?
If you see that there's a problem with that, you're welcome to call someone to go
Thank you
out.
very much. I'm happy how y'all leading this. Good job. So anyway, when they came over to inspect mine, like 8 of my properties always, well, we were on the conjoining property, Shamika, and we seen this. Well, we had Mr. Rucker, we had Ken, Dante was there, and Mr. Ron. We all there. I pointed out 3 or 4 of what you said, okay? Now, I even went back to him on the second inspection, and I said, what about next door? Well, yeah, y'all wrote that up, and then, no, I ain't heard nothing. Ain't no big yellow sign on that one, okay? So everybody can take one of those home. They was only 9 cents. Okay, then we got trash that's next door. That was there for 7 weeks. I got all the pictures for that. But still, no violation. This right next door. Okay? Then next door to next door.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right.
No, Dana, but hold on, Dana. No, you stop. Because, no, I don't care if you're talking. Because I'm going to tell you like this, Dana. You and me both know. You don't understand. No. You did not interrupt nobody else, and I'm asking that you allow me. Who? No. And I'm presenting my case. But see, Dana, you know why you're not going to argue? Because I'm not paying you no more. So the thing of it is, the bottom line is, as long as I was putting money in your pocket and you was coming to the house to borrow money, you didn't act like this.
Oh, my God.
Okay? I am tired of this. Now, you allowed them to speak. Please allow me that same common courtesy.
But you're getting off track.
I'm not. I'm definitely not, because I'm going to pull this all together if you would just let me. I want to go celebrate my birthday. I ain't trying to be here all day.
And I'm not trying to be here all day either.
Okay. So and you know what?
Is when you got that email from Fresh Electric, when you said that you had the inspection papers from before, did you submit them as your proof to what you're saying to us today?
When I got that, what you're asking about, this was already scheduled for today. So I don't like to keep dealing with stuff. So when I finished painting the room, that the tenant upstairs, he accidentally forgot the water on, flooded the whole thing. We had to do the ceiling and everything. My husband had it done in a day. So when we finish all that, then I'll call them out. I know that they probably tired of looking at me like I'm tired of looking at them. But the wires got crossed, so they had to hurry up and come get another inspection, but I'm not going to go into that yet. Now, like I was saying, next door, you have all of these violations, and nothing is happening, okay? Then directly next door at 202 Tyler Street, the whole roof. I'm gonna be back here at 519 Decatur. This is my way to get this out, so I paid a little fees and everything. But right next door, the whole roof is coming in. I guarantee you there's no report pulled up on that, okay? Then,
Shamika,
ma'am,
may I ask you a question?
yes, ma'am.
That's fine.
Okay, my question is, are you denying any of the issues that they're citing at 102?
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
denying them?
This,
Can we kind of stay focused with
Okay,
that,
so-
102 Tyler Street?
okay,
I don't know if there's anybody here from legal. Can we just kind of stay focused on?
so, yeah, that's
Your,
cool.
your place, I really
Okay,
appreciate it. I
that's
hear you, I
cool.
feel your passion.
That's cool.
But we're here looking at
That's cool.
your violation.
So, but my concern is then is if those electrical hazards is so bad at 102 Tyler and somebody's gonna get hurt, then why is it 3 more houses down, you got wire
And I
exposed
think that's 3
outside?
more different issues that.
Right, so that's that's my concern.
Yeah, so we
you know?
just stay focused
So,
on yours.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I got,
Appreciate you.
I got nothing else to say, Ms. Warner, but at the same time, how is my electrical so bad and we got wires down the street?
I don't think
So
that's a housing appeals question.
No, it's-
Legal.
Okay, I do have one question. Shamika?
Yes.
All this paperwork that you say you have proof, have you submitted that to the city so we can see that proof?
No, because you know what? I withdraw my appeal, and y'all can come out anytime and come and look at it. It's already fixed. So I'll just withdraw the appeal, and we'll set up a time, and then I'll get you that paperwork and everything. But I do thank y'all for y'all time. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right.
Where we at on this stuff? What we gonna do?
Ooh, that's a lot. All right. What is the board's pleasure on, or what is the decision today for the condemnation that we're here for?
Well, if she withdrew it, didn't I?
Yeah, she just withdrew
She
it, didn't
withdrew it, so I think we
Well, we
just condemn.
still have to take action.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of decision though, one way or another.
What option are we looking at doing?
The withdrawal, right?
Accept the withdrawals, that's all we have to do?
Just accept the withdrawal?
That's what I'm thinking you
Accept-
probably have to do.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the withdrawal from Ms. Shamika Owens Moore to,
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call, please.
I have something. When we do this, where does that leave her inspection and everything? I mean,
That's something that the inspectors will have to contact her back about, or legal will have to contact.
So the
her
inspectors
back
take over and try to get in,
about.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
do your
roll call.
Ms. Janice Warner?
what are you gonna say, yes? I was gonna say
Gary
present.
Gunnels- Mr. Gary Gunnelsberg?
Yes.
Ms. Dana Gamblin?
Yes,
Ms. Sharon Johnson?
Yes,
Mr. Walt Matthews?
Yes.
Ms. Allison Will?
Yes.
okay.
Right. Next up, we have case 22-04. David Hummel is appealing the first administrative penalty in the amount of $100 for 508 Mcdonald Street, parcel 59-00755.000.
Hello, my name's Ron Snyder. I'm an inspector with the City of Sandusky Code Compliance Office. On 1/14/2002, while in the field, it's a term we use, while basically out checking into other things, coming through the 500 block of McDonald Street, and I noticed that there were 2 residents, 508 McDonald Street, being one of those, that didn't have any gutters or downspouting on that residence. So as a result of that, basically that property was written up. And I went ahead and sent a letter to the owner, Mr. Hummel, in regards to not having gutters and downspouts on the residence. As indicated in the photos, they're both certificate of mail and certified mail sent. Had conversations with Mr. Hummel in regards to this, and on 1/31, he came to the office and he dropped off an estimate that he had gotten from Camp Construction for the gutters and downspouts. The estimate did not indicate any start or finish date. Initially, the inspections were scheduled for this date. However, that would be on 2/2 of 2022. However, an extension was granted. A lot of this was based on the winter weather conditions, along with him obtaining that estimate for the work. We all know that in February, roofs are slippery, and it's not real conducive for a lot of outside work. So I gave him a little more time, and I sent him a courtesy letter, basically outlining that he would be given some additional time in order to accomplish this task. On 4/22 of 2002, as indicated in the courtesy letter, the inspection was scheduled for this date. Inspection revealed that no work had been done to the address for the documented issues. 4/22 of 2002 continued. Prior to inspection, I had not been in contact with Mr. Hummel to indicate that I had entered into the contract with Camp Construction. Initially, that was just an estimate, so I was unaware if that contract was an actual contract or just the estimate.
Those are two different issues.
The work was not done. An administrative penalty was subsequently administered at that point. In the photos, there is going to be an invoice, the first administrative penalty with certificate of mail and certified mail. 4/26, 2022, Mr. Hummel came to the office. He had obtained an appeals form, and he was turning that in. I spoke with him briefly. He, understandably so, he was not happy with the administrative penalty, but said he understood. He also indicated that he apparently had been unable to get in touch with his contractor and was a little bit upset with him as well. What I found out after the fact is that Mr. Hummel had turned around and got another contractor. And as you can see in those photos, right, that work has been complete. It was complete after that inspection date, but it has been complete. There are gutters and spouts on the residence at this time.
Good.
Yes,
Mr. Hummel, is he here?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Would you step up to the podium? And please just identify yourself for the record, please.
David Hummel, live at 508 Mcdonald Street, the one with the pictures.
Okay.
And Ron pretty much stated everything that I was going to say. The work has been completed by a second contractor. The first contractor I could not get hold of by phone. He would not return my,
I just gave you the pictures. Okay.
not emails, but messages. So I had to start the whole process over and get a second contractor. But the work has been completed, like Ron said. And it was done on, supposedly, as it happens, on Friday, the 13th of May.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Hummel?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. So what is,
I just have one comment. The purpose of the administrative penalty is to act as an incentive to move the project along.
Right.
But in this case, the project has been moved along by you, and it's been completed, correct?
Yes, sir, it has.
I don't know what the point of charging the homeowner a fee for the administrative penalty at this point would be. He's completed what was requested, and I believe we should move along, in my opinion.
are you making it?
What's your motion?
I would make a motion to grant the appeal and withdraw the $100 administrative penalty.
Waive it, waive the,
Second.
Waive the penalty.
Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No opposed?
Oh,
Okay.
you gotta do roll call?
Mr. Gary Gunnelsberger.
Yes.
Ms. Janice Warner.
Yes.
Ms. Sharon Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Dana Gamblin.
Yes.
Mr. Walt Matthews.
Yes.
Ms. Allison Will.
Yes.
Motion Motion passes.
Friday
Thank
the
you.
13th was your lucky day.
And I was gonna say, if you are a Marine, thank you for your service.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roger, go ahead.
Item number 3, case 22-05, James Bickley is appealing a portion of the write-up and the first administrative penalty for $100 for 1124 First Street, parcel number 57-00313.000.
This you again, Mr. Ryan?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay.
Again, I'm Ron Snyder. I'm an inspector with the City of Sandusky Code Compliance Office. On January 24th of this year, prior to today's date, I do apologize, prior to 1/24 of 2022, I had addressed a similar issue with a couple other residences within the 1100 block. While reaffirming an issue with another property, I noticed that the residents at 1124 First Street had no gutters or eaves troughs or downspouts on the east side of that residence. There was gutters on the right side or on the west side, just not on that east side.
Okay.
Checking the rear of the property off the city alleyway, I found that the garage for the said property had no gutters and or downspouts to the south side of that, while the north side of the garage had gutters and downspouts. As a result, the property was documented. It was that the deficiency, and I sent notification via mail to James M. Bickley and Deborah K. Bickley via certified mail and certificate of mail. Several days later, I did receive a call from Mr. Bickley, and we discussed the issue of not having the gutters and downspouts. The only question, the issue of having the gutters on the downspouts of the garage. At this point, I questioned Mr. Bickley on why he then had a gutter and a downspout on the north side of the garage. His response was because basically that was the primary area for vehicles and pedestrian traffic in that area. So an inspection was scheduled on 2/25 of 2022. The said property, however, due to winter conditions, it was understood if the documented issues were unable to be addressed. So subsequently, an extension was granted. A courtesy letter was sent reflecting that because of inclement weather throughout the winter months there, it was understandable. And again, a letter was sent indicating same with certificate of mail and certified mail. Now, this date was pushed out until the 3rd day of May. An inspection was scheduled. I found that the gutters and downspouts had been installed on the east side of the residence, however, not the south side of the garage. I kind of questioned myself at that point in time we went ahead and there was gutters installed on the residence, but just not the backside of that garage. As a result of that, an administrative penalty was administered for $100 and a letter reflecting same, along with an invoice was sent to the property owners. And that's the documentation you see there. There was also an administrative penalty evaluation done, which that goes to Mr. Rutger to be evaluated. It should be noted that as indicated in the 2019 Residential Code of the State of Ohio, Chapter 8, Section 801.3, roof drainage, I quote, "In areas where expansion soils or collapsible soils are known to exist, all dwellings shall have a controlled method of water disposal from the roofs that will collect and discharge roof drainage to the ground surface not less than 5 feet from the foundation walls or to an approved drainage system." This was taken from the south side wall of that property, and 5 feet puts us approximately a foot out into the city alleyway.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am?
In this alleyway here, is that It looks like the alleyway is paved, is that correct?
It is, at one time, it had been paved. It's been a number of years since the city has.
So on this side of the garage where it's no gutters there, could that damage that pavement?
There is some erosion noted in that alleyway, yes.
Okay.
So. And, well, the photos there would indicate so. Now, I can't be certain, but the discoloration of the upper portion of the backside of that garage, I kind of question where that discoloration was coming from. I can't determine if it was coming from the lack of gutters or not. Okay. And Mr. and Mrs. Bickley subsequently filed an appeal, and that's why we're here this evening, so.
So it's not complete yet, so completely done.
No, this process is not complete, no. This work has not been done, no.
Done part of it, but the other part he hasn't done.
What he did, right, exactly. There was the east side of the residence was completely guttered and downspouts on the residence, just not the back side of the garage.
Sir, did you confer with Mr. Bickley that since he's gotten the house taken care of, but not the garage part, that you would have to write him up, or how did you confer with him?
Basically, there had been no work done on the property until that last inspection date. So
The house is all right, correct? It's been corrected?
the house has been corrected, yes.
Okay.
And
It's just that one side of the garage that doesn't have any gutters.
right, as of May 3rd of 2022, that is the picture to the left is the front, basically, or is the east side of that property, and we can see that there's gutters and spouts that have been applied there as of May 3rd. So as of that inspection date, right, the whole east side had been done.
Okay.
It's just not the back of the garage, so.
Mr. and Mrs. Bickley? Can you come to the podium, please? Good afternoon. Will you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is James Bickley. I own the property at 1124 First Street that Mr. Sharp is referring to.
Okay.
I'm appealing, I don't know. Historically, there's never been an eave or down on that garage. And the reason being is it don't make sense. I've got some pictures here. Could I pass these around? I'll give you a perspective of that situation, which I don't believe that the pictures he has shows that the relative height, the grade change going to the alley, doesn't make any sense to me. I guess I had work done on the east side, like you said, in the house. And historically, in 100 years, I never had there's an ice situation. Those pictures showed the icicles. If you came from Sandusky Bay up McEwen Street, you would run right into my house, the front porch of it. And what happens is you get morning sun on a snow roof, it melts. The sun goes to the other side of the gable. That cold wind coming up McEwen Street freezes it, so it makes icicles. I don't think they'll stay on there, but in compliance, I put it on the home. But on the garage, it just doesn't make any sense in my mind, and I'm appealing the need for them, I guess, is what I'm appealing. Never mind the fine itself.
But is it, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
but is it law, is it some type of regulation that there must be gutters on the back?
It's indicated in the 2019.
I read the code. I can't. It's.
I was gonna say, because there's a lot of things that don't make sense, but we have to abide by them.
Well, I understand. I appreciate you if you just look at the photos and it runs right into the alley. It's like it's a downhill slope right off the drip edge into the alleyway, which is unpaved, rutted, and we paid for it to be paved 40 years ago, and the city promised to maintain the pavement. Well, as administrations changed, and that never got done. But
Sir,
that's my
could
plea
I
here.
tell you on that paved alley, They're supposed to maintain that, so all you have to do is pick up the phone and complain to the city.
I've tried, dear. And,
I have been through that already with the city. They came out and paved my alley.
all right.
Paved alleyways have to be maintained by the city.
Well, I'm gonna say this to you, Mr. Bickley. So I'm like Ms. Warner. You did do one part of what was requested
did.
because it's law. So I guess the question is,
I did it for consideration of my neighbor, ma'am.
well, still, either way, you did it.
Okay.
So I guess the other part is you should have just did the garage as well. That was part of the write-up that they gave to you, so I just would have got both of them completed.
I have one question for the inspector. In that previous photo, you showed the garage and a structure, I'm guessing it would be to the west. Is that?
That's mine also.
That's your house?
Yes. That's my mother's house. It's my home.
Okay, but that's your property, you own
Yes.
that, and it has gutters and downspouts on it. Had you completed the garage as well, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
I understand that.
Any more questions? Okay.
I'm gonna say this off the record, but I know it's on the record. I feel your frustration.
I guess that's why I'm here.
Rules are rules.
Yeah, I understand.
So, where are we going?
Well, Mr. Bickley, let's say, for example, we gave you 30 days to get that done. Could you be back here smiling?
That's my option. I guess that's what I'd have to do if I can get my contractor.
No, not if. I say if you could be back in 30 days and have it done. No ifs.
I can't guarantee that, sir.
All right, thank you.
The alternative is to move forward with a $100 penalty.
I've already received that letter, sir. I understand that. That's why I'm here.
And it seems like there's a reasonable solution to avoid that.
Yeah.
Dollars and cents out of my back pocket. Yeah, I understand that.
Well, that decision is yours. It rests with you.
The decision was mine. I understand that too.
So what are we doing? I need a motion.
I'll make the motion that we deny the appeal.
Okay. I need a second.
So we're denying, in other words, he's not gonna pay the 100?
No, he is gonna pay the 100.
Oh.
So we just need a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Sharon Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Walt Matthews,
Yes.
Gary Gunnelsberger,
Yes.
Janice Warner, Dana Gamblin,
Yes.
Allison Will. Passes.
Thank you for your
Sir,
time.
Thank you.
Here's your picture, sir.
All righty.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I like that
Motion that we
question.
adjourn and.
Those are yours,
Get supper,
and these
right?
I have a question. I don't know if it's open. Do we deal with
There you go.
discrimination here? I just need to know what our roles are. So who's my legal person? Somehow we got to stop some of this conversation.
Right.
Trying to watch my tone.
The appeal was filed.
Yeah. We're
We
just
still
here
have to
for the
hear it,
appeal
regardless of the
and
basis.
her address. She was bringing up stuff I didn't feel,
It
you gotta go
wasn't-
I,
yeah, right.
was
Well, you're right.
appropriate for us to deal with. If she feels like she was discriminated against, I think that's civil rights.
Right.
We're to deal with the issues of the property. I'm asking, am I right or wrong? If I need to change my thinking.
You can ask the property owner the questions you think are appropriate
She
for
was,
each case.
she was agitated or something. And I don't think we just need to go through that. We need to stay focused on what our, if I can use mission, visions, and goals are for this board. And we can't have people, we don't deal with discrimination. You know, there's something written on there about being black or something.
Discrimination, she
Yeah.
said.
All rules and codes enforced by Ken Nixon are not just when dealing with African Americans. I don't think that, does that come before us? I shouldn't say I don't think. Should that come before us?
That's for you all to determine.
It's
Well,
part of,
that's
it's part of what she put down.
Law director stated that because an appeal was filed, regardless of the basis, we had to hear the appeal. We can't
Even
tell
though it was
someone.
on discrimination? Okay, that was my question. So if that's what we're supposed to do,
And
now I know.
common sense would say, that's not a reason to come to this appeals board, but since it was filed, it had to
It has to be,
occur.
okay, that's what I was asking, so
That
now I
was her
know.
reason. That was her reason.
Yeah, but we had to listen, I don't know why we're listening to a
Will
discrimination.
she come back again? Do we
Well,
have to?
that's where the chairman comes in to stop
Okay,
that.
know,
well,
she's
first
been
of
here
all,
before.
We need to make a motion
I
to
move
adjourn.
for adjournment.
Oh, that to be in the minute.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
I have one thing.
Yes.
My name's Don Shara, and I volunteered to be an alternate to your board here.
Oh, okay, welcome.
Great.
Hey, glad
It's
to
like
meet
an
you.
exciting time.
So did you decide not to do it now?
But, sir, what did you volunteer for?
He's on our board.
He's our alternate.
Okay.
Okay.
Next time
Yeah,
come
we-
sit
we
next to
always
me,
said,
I'm the
yeah,
other
we did
alternate.
it. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think,
I didn't hear it.
well,
Yeah,
there
we
was a
adjourned.
second.
Yes, we did.
There was a second.
I hadn't finished it up, but yes, it's
Okay.
been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's adjourned, okay? All right.